Shanghai. Montreal. We're bleeding operatives. Panic is spreading, and now we are axing our own?
Hello and welcome to Rock, Paper, Shotgun. I'll be your agent this evening. Well, to be brutally honest, more like an agent in training. I hail from the era of blood monies and contracts, so my skills are a bit rusty. I'm not sure Diana would ever call me to bump somebody off, unless I was literally bumping someone off. I've played 8 hours of Hitman 2, and it's not enough to offer a final verdict. This is a try and try again sort of experience. You finish a level and see all your actions converted into XP, only to realise that you've ticked off a fraction of the approaches for that level. This grid is like an advent calendar of death. Instead of a chocolate behind every door, it's a new demise. So while our full verdict will come later, Matthew, who adored the 2016 adventure, is cooking up that one, I'm going to explain why you won't want to leave Agent 47's homicidal life, no matter how much or little time you have with it. As I said, I'm new to IO's current works of assassination, so here's what has me gripped. And if you'd like more super slick dossiers to watch over, and by dossiers I obviously mean Rock, Paper, Shotgun videos, please do subscribe, Agent. Oh, and if you're feeling less homicidal and more, shall we say, chipper, then feel free to like the video as well. It will make us less homicidal, probably. Agent 47 has always been a globetrotter, but his holiday destinations have never been this dense or diverse. A spread of 6 locations may not sound diverse, but the variety within them makes you feel like you've seen more. From a lonely house on a lonely beach, to the bustling streets of Mumbai, to quaint, white picket fences that take me back to the suburban slaughter of blood money. Even the Miami Global race, totally picked apart in a series of endless hands-on previews, still has hours of secrets left to tease out. They are rich, colourful worlds, almost like a film set version of real-world locations. Everything is larger than life, from the brash personalities overheard in NPC dialogue to colours and the scale of the architecture. They're places you want to explore, just to see what the level designers have imagined, which also makes them perfect for a killing, or 10. I often refer to these kinds of level designs as jungle gyms, the kind of knotty locations which live and breathe with shady secrets to discover. The verticality in Hitman 2's levels isn't gymnast-friendly. Look at Agent 47, awkwardly hanging about in his steam-pressed suit. But the option to scale these jungle gyms is what it's all about, even in a modest capacity. They contain so many points of interest, you could easily get lost. This here is the Closet of Kings. If I'd been dispatched myself, I wouldn't mind laying to rest alongside these swanky threads. And how about this racetrack? I'm personally not one for crowds, even impressive ones such as this. But who doesn't like confetti rain? Not to mention this train yard gem, a veritable oasis, smack dab in the middle of all these rusty carts. If only I could find a way out of the foliage to get a proper look. But getting lost in these levels isn't the end of the world, because if you do, you can blend into these large crowds or stray groups of people doing authentically people-y things, or hide away in these lovely clusters of foliage. Speaking of, I feel as though one of Agent 47's new items should be bug spray and sunscreen. Concussion grenades, tasers and the like are fine though, just useless against mosquitoes. What the locations do, besides make you want to book a holiday that isn't grey old England, is that it's designed with layered play in mind, and makes Hitman 2 something you'll want to play, over and again.
Don't worry. The shaman has so far been reluctant to help us out, but
Of course, what is all this set dressing without virtual actors? The thing that routinely catches me off guard in Hitman 2 is the AI, or rather, what happens when I force people to leave their comfortable routines. I like the kind of AI that sits somewhere between smart-ish and stupid, and Hitman cleverly ticks both boxes. On the one hand, it's about taking your time, and exploiting the clockwork behaviour of the people in the world. A person might systematically enter a blind spot, opening them up for attack. Another might regularly interact with machinery that could backfire with a bit of tweaking. When I subdued this housekeeper for the first time, for example, I messed it up, obviously, but the second time they just found the body of a man I'd killed. Cue this very nice pop-in window. That made proceedings much more fun, and acted as a temporary distraction. Another target never left an underground cave, so my destination wasn't exactly tricky to find. The anomaly in all this is Agent 47, and when you stumble into the world, it can escalate in brilliant ways. I couldn't blend in a Colombian bar, for example, because I was dressed as a soldier with a sack on his head. Subtle, I know. I swanned on over and put a coin in the jukebox to listen to some loud, nondescript ballad and went outside to cut the power. My plan was to use this as a distraction, to alert the bartender and his friend, letting me spike my target's drink. One trip to the bathroom later, and I'd have a brand new disguise. Sound plan? Problem is, I bumped into the target on the way back into the bar, and because, I look like a thug with a sack on my head, my potential dupe was highly alert. It all ended very badly. However, the scenario was an honest reaction to all the moving parts. It's a game about putting the spanner in the works and dealing with the chaos that ensues.
I'd like to buy some glue, please.
No, I'm afraid we just ran out of that item, senor. I saw the last bottle to the mechanic next door.
It's a good thing, then, that the spanners themselves are so imaginative. Sure, you could kill folks with your silenced pistol, but why do that when you can poison them with a flower from their own yard? Lure them into a bathroom to drown them in their own vomit, or God knows what else. Part of the fun of Hitman 2's levels and missions isn't so much completing a hit, but figuring out how you'll approach it. I know that's what I spent most of my time doing with what info I gleaned. Taking stock, looking around, listening to people, moving very slowly indeed. Oftentimes I caught some random point out of the corner of my eye, like electrical outlets I could tamper with, or mopeds I could use to create a petrol leak, and went out looking for a screwdriver or monkey wrench so I could get to work. Why? Because I wanted to try and distract someone or create a disturbance for the fun of it. It's like a reverse Final Destination film. You're the Grim Reaper trying to trigger the chain reaction. There is such a thing as too much choice, perhaps. Levels are packed so tightly with options and entry points, hiding away any number of ways to kill a target or dispatch guards and so on, that I'm constantly aware I'm missing things. When I took down George Franco, for example, by tampering with the cocaine I'd delivered, I unceremoniously pushed him down a hole while no one was looking. A kill is a kill, but I'm worried my brand of murder is more Acme than MI5. When I turned around to make my swift exit, I saw that I could use one of those creepy symbol monkey wind-up toys, and couldn't help but think to myself, first, why didn't I use that? Second, I really want to use that. And third, should I reload and try again to use that? The answer, of course, is yes.
Interesting. Shah's personal steam pond appears to be out of order.
As someone who's been away from the series for a while, I think it does interesting things with the difficulty modes. There are 3 settings in all: casual, professional, and master, where the latter 2 add limitations to make the game more challenging. Casual is about diving in, trying everything, with the same chaotic repercussions though slightly less combat difficulty. Professional makes CCTV cameras an extra problem, so you won't just be committing illegal actions away from human eyes, and the combat is more challenging though Diana still offers guidance through mission stories, which is the new name for opportunities that would unfold in Hitman 2016. Master, however, really puts your skills to the test by giving you only 1 save per level, stripping you of all mission story guidance. That means no little green pointers, I'm afraid. Bloody kills can even ruin clothes and therefore potential disguises. Not that I'm playing on Master. Diving headfirst would be a bloodbath for this relative newcomer, and then I wouldn't be able to pull these angel wings off, which would be a darn shame. Folks who want a challenge are covered from the outset in play, as well as its settings. But unlike so many game settings that simply make a casual option easier to default effect, I was pleasantly surprised by the direction of Hitman 2's idea of smart cash. The combat is indeed easier, guidance plays a role, and added challenges are obviously removed. This kind of setting offers a friendlier way to play, but it does so by taking down the handrail, so to speak, and opens up the experience for more free-form experimentation. So while Professional and Master are challenging settings, finely tuned within a more rigid structure, Casual gives more of a chance to look around and pick your path. In some ways, this all feels a lot like an action-adventure game, only instead of adventuring all Indiana Jones-like, you're charting exotic locales, stashing weapons, eavesdropping on folks and breaking into their houses to gas someone in their sleep. In a way, it allows you to really comb the area and explore these vibrant levels I detailed earlier, unlocking all its secrets as you go, and then some. I'd killed 2 of my 3 targets before realizing I could actually tamper with this veiled statue. Surely a raucous piece of prop-based entertainment. If you find Kasplat's funny, that I missed the first time but went out of my way to achieve a second. Because, well, Kasplat. It all makes for layered levels you can and will experience over and over again until you've mastered a level on all settings, unlocked all the objectives, and completed absolutely every scenario imaginable. Given that you have the time to do so, and there is a timer to go along with that overall rating at the end of a level. Apropos, really. As in the first season of Hitman, increasing your level mastery improves the range of options you have open to you when planning a kill, in turn opening up more routes to the more obscure challenges. A bigger change this time is that XP is awarded for everyday Hitman actions. You're not just improving mastery by hitting the checklist of mission stories and special takedowns. It encourages that experimentation outside of IO's own planned activities, and helps you to get closer to beating those activities at the same time. That's pretty smart. And you will want to dig into those checklists, as they require you to approach the level in new ways and reveal just how deep some of the environments actually are. In the three-headed serpent mission, for example, my task was to take out 3 targets, which I'd done fairly innocuously. Snapping necks, tattoo needle in the ear, you know, the usual. On my 3rd try at the level, I randomly made it into a house playing loud music, after luring some guy outside to subdue him for the fun of it. Turns out the house belonged to the musicians playing at the unveiling. So I dressed up as the drummer and joined the band on stage. I couldn't be bothered to wait for the party. That's me, Agent Patience, and so I didn't see the result of the shindig. And yet I had zero idea I could don a sombrero and pretend to be a drummer. It even prompted a comment from a passerby, who used to be a bassist or something, I wasn't really listening. Also me, Agent Observant. Replayability is a bit of an old-fashioned word. One of those old magazine terms people roll their eyes at, but Hitman 2 is a completionist's dream. The sheer number of possibilities available, even down to tailoring your loadout before starting a level, makes for a wealth of stuff to master and tinker with. The only downside to godlike levels of replayability is that the more you try and try again, the more you tend to forget why you're doing it all in the first place. Hitman 2 does boast a confusing story of crime lords and illegal syndicates, drug runners, shadow cells, and all that Craig Bond jazz. Nicely wrapped up in slick animated mission dossiers that I actually watched through a few times because, and to use modern internet speak, that aesthetic. But the action tends to drown all that out. It's so strong that the slightly confusing story in between could have been replaced with lead-ins to isolated missions, which don't really connect but offer fun things to do, something that the standalone sniper missions really tap into. That isn't to say that the characters, namely your targets, aren't vibrantly realised in the game's main missions, because they absolutely are. From a drug lord's girlfriend pestering you as you try to work, if you get my meaning, to an arrogant movie maker and his unwillingness to be outshone, there are a veritable collection of rare personalities to engage with and get to know, directly and through word on the grapevine. I just know that I was so caught up in all the little moving parts of a level, focused on how to exploit them or try something different next time, that I didn't pay much mind to the story elements at all. Why pay attention to that when I can knock someone out with a can of expired soda, or distract a guard with a penny? Saying that, I hope I haven't distracted you too much, kind viewer. And if I have, don't worry, I won't be knocking you out with an expired soda can. It'll strictly be a bare hands only subduing. And hey, that sounds rude. And here I was, going for jokingly murderous. Nevertheless, I'll be asking you to like and subscribe, which perhaps should have an expiration date on it. If it did, what year do you think these reminders went mouldy? So please subscribe if you liked this video and would like to see more. We cover PC games in Team Let's Plays where we kill our cat companions, long-form reviews and analysis of big games, lists of all kinds, and many more. Once again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Goodbye for now.